Social Security is on the brink of collapse and the Republicans won't touch it, says Veronique de Rougy. Man, I used to, all my heroes turn out to be zeros. I don't know what else to say. I used to be a huge fan of Veronique, and I'm just reading this, and I'm just like, I literally can't fathom how they can miss this. So we're gonna read a little bit of this, and I want you to put in the comments what she gets wrong. I'm not gonna tell you the answer to this. I want you to put in the comments what she gets wrong because it's so frighteningly obvious. And if you've read my book, You Can Retire on Social Security, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And still put in the comments. The more comments we get, the more hopefully traction YouTube will give the video. This is so freaking insanity, man. I'm not going to tell you the answer. I want you to figure it out. And so we're going to talk to this right here, the subheadline. In 1950, there were more than 16 workers for every beneficiary. In 2035, that ratio will be only 2.3 per retiree. All right, so we're just going to read it. I'm not going to tell you the answer. Let's see. Over the weekend, J.D. Vance tweeted that the Trumpster was 100% right to demand that under no circumstances should Republicans vote to cut a single penny from Medicare or Social Security. 100%. You're not going to win elections by saying we're going to cut Social Security to Medicare. It's idiotic to do that. And the only one who would do that would be a person who doesn't have the long-term Republican Party. They want them dead. There's no other way around that. No Republican is ever going to win saying we're going to take away Social Security and Medicare. All right, let's see here. I cannot wait to hear the grand plan that don't touch Social Security and Medicare. Republican caucus has to address the $116 trillion over 30 years shortfall. That's 6% of GDP facing Social Security and Medicare. No action from Congress means no money to pay for all the benefits. That means enormous cuts that will hurt the lower income seniors who truly depend on the program. All right, so we're going to read this a little bit. Again, I want you to answer why she's blowing smoke up the butts of the libertarians. And we know what's happening here. They're all auditioning for spots on CNN and MSNBC. There's no other way around that. If you look at Robert Costa, he used to write for National Review. A couple other guys used to write for National Review, and then they went into a Washington Post, CNN. It's just, that's all these guys are doing. They're all auditioning for that. Of course, if Vance and friends insist on not touching benefits, they could address the shortfalls with enormous tax hikes. All right, so this isn't the answer I'm looking for. I want you to say why she's wrong in terms of what her miscalculations are. Is so blindingly obvious, but you might not know until I tell you about it. They'll have to agree to immediately, let's see, when the trust fund runs out in 2035, 34, 36, they will have to agree to immediately raise the payroll tax from 12.4% to 15.64%, or a close to 25% tax increase. Veronique, you are freaking lying. You know you're lying here. You know you are. Because this is for me, self-employed, yes. It's 1/2 on each side, Veronique, and I know you know this, but yet you're allowing it to be seen as a 25% tax increase. No, it's not. This is a 3% increase, 1/2 on each side for all of it, 7.65%. Josh, as the employee, increases his tax 1.5%. Josh, as the employer, increases his tax 1.5%. That's a 12.5% tax increase. And that's even based on your faulty numbers, too, because if you know how Social Security works, and I assume Veronique doesn't, there's 3 different methods they look at Social Security. 3. So you got 25, 25. The 50% is the intermediate challenge, the intermediate thing. But they got the low and I can't remember what it is, the low and high and intermediate. So this is just 50% is what they're saying is going to be underfunded, or the trust fund will run out 2035. Oh, it used to be 2028, 2035 now. It's still going to be the 2030s. But right there, I always say 1% payroll tax increase, done. And so now we're saying 1.5. Wow, that's a 25% tax increase. That's fake. I hate that crap. That's just freaking cherry picking to make it sound worse than it is. Liberals do this. Libertarians should be doing this, but they do it all the time because they're trying to audition for MSNBC. It's not as if we haven't been warned. I did videos on this, talked about the 90s, that Social Security has run out of money in 2028. And when I started working, right here. When I started working, the trust fund said it'd be out of assets by 2037. Now it's 2035. If you look, Veronique, you would see in the 90s it's 2028. Why are we cherry picking? Why are you doing this? The fear mong. It's crazy. In other words, these problems shouldn't surprise anybody. When Social Security started, life expectancies were lower. Veronique, are you actually trying to say the life expectancies are higher? Are you that? I'm not going to say it. mind-bogglingly fear-mongering to know how life expectancies work, Veronique? Are you looking at life expectancy? It says from a baby, Veronique. That's rookie league stuff. And if you're doing that, you go back to don't go back to school, man. Maybe you should learn. Maybe you should watch some conspiracy theory videos to get your mind to think. When Social Security started, life expectancies were lower. In 1950, there were more than 16 workers per beneficiary. That ratio now will be only 2.3. And add to this trend, decades of politicians buying votes, expanding benefits beyond incoming payroll tax, and have a true fiscal crisis. That's why it's so alarming that so many of the GOP are giving up on educate. All right, whatever. There's no question that retirees deserve fair treatment. Supreme Court ruled that you don't have a legally binding right to Social Security, and then she gets in here saying it's not or she say you can't say it's. Oh, right here, you earned your Social Security benefits. You are entitled to the benefits now promised. You are. Just because Supreme Court ruled in 1960 that workers do not have a legally binding right to Social Security benefits, they got to get Congress people. Congress are not going to allow Social Security to go bankrupt and take benefits away. Just because Supreme Court ruled, it doesn't matter. You know what else the Supreme Court ruled? Guess what? They ruled it's okay for slavery, freaking 40, I don't know, whatever, 2/3 of a vote, all that stuff. Supreme Court ruled you can't have a right to firearms. Things changed there, Veronique. In 1960, they said what they ruled that you had to have forced vaccinations back in the 1910s because smallpox. What's that guy? The one the liberals love, Brandeis. I don't think it's Brandeis. Yeah, some clown. He's like, oh yeah, and that's what they're all freaking. What did Veronique think about the jabs? I bet she's big on the jabs. Just watching a guy on Cato Institute who's big on the jabs too. It's like, man, these guys crazy. I can't believe I used to buy these guys hook on the sinker. It's a fiction that the benefits that have been promised were earned by workers. Yes, they were. We paid into them. They paid into them. It's a fiction that the benefits were promised were earned by workers. That's in part. I mean, look, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. It's a legalized Ponzi scheme. Well, what else is lotteries legalized? I mean, okay, there's lots of legalized bad things. Social Security is one of them, but it is, and people are relying on it. It's a magical thing to say that touching Social Security and Medicare is a non-starter. Even more strange, maybe the same Republicans want to spare these two programs while still putting Medicaid on the chopping block. Medicaid should be reformed too, 100%. Where are you getting the $116 trillion deficit, by the way, there, Ronnie? The whole thing's gone. So let's see some of the comments here, because there's one guy who got the comment that I only read a couple here. Let's see if I can't show comments. I'm going to comment once I post this video. I got to get ready to get out of here. Right here, the FICA deduction increase isn't all that bad. Only a 3.24% increase in wage loss and half hidden by employers. So employers pay it, not employees, and it'll so be accepted. Did they not let me? I already subscribed. So be accepted as only 1.6 for 2 tax increase. That's what I'm saying. 1.6 for 2 to protect your Social Security. Republicans should run on that. 100 protect your Social Security and Medicare. Run on that. And that's a winning scheme, man. Went through a recent article that New Zealand was Chile who reformed their Social Security. I remember that New Zealand did too, actually, a long time ago. I don't know what they do now, but I mean, whatever. I always thought Chile and New Zealand were look, this back in my ignorant life, still Veronique, living in too much in D.C. I've been waiting for reason to comment on confident. Okay, let's see. But anyway, what they say about progressive. Let me see if I can't find something. I want to see it said progressive. Right here. Given the progressive bent, right here. Given the progressive bent of reason, it's more likely reforms worked, but not under a paradigm that looked good for their prospects at Washington Post. Yep, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I could not agree more. Anyway, put in the comments what you see. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you.